Thank you, sir. Tesla EV? No way. I don't even want this page. You guys are the experts.
We actually
on
don't
this
see
thing.
these before he gives them to us. So.
Yeah. This is we didn't know what the hell we were talking about.
I'm not sure
Sometimes
this is
we
too
don't know what we're
related
talking
to the
about no matter
field.
what he gives us. Well, first of all, you should start by saying you both own one.
Right. We do both own one.
Me, I got a Wrangler. You know what I mean? I still want to be able
Old
to go
school.
through mud, but yeah.
From a technological perspective, it's quite interesting compared to the established status quo.
Well,
would
I'll tell
say.
you.
Very different approach from a company like Tesla.
That, and you notice it like the first couple of days, I'd say. On
Oh,
like how
immediately.
different, how
Sure.
like you just stop thinking about like, oh, where are my keys? You're like, because you got your phone on you, so you always have your key on you, so stuff like that.
The stark difference in design philosophy is apparent almost immediately just by looking at the thing and the design of the vehicle. It's so different from what you see coming out of Detroit.
No doubt.
Oh yeah.
Right. It very much is quite reminiscent of effectively how we do things.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, from our perspective, oh yeah, this seems kind of how we would do it. You know, it's
Right.
like they're just kind of like, yeah, we'll try this, right?
They do things that are quite different.
Yeah, they just go for it, right?
Right.
Just
Quite different, but not necessarily
status quo, is that the word?
common.
They're not afraid
Yeah.
to go against the norm.
Yeah.
Right. They're not
Cybertruck.
doing things just because everybody else is doing it in one particular way.
Right.
And that's why you get things like the Cybertruck, I suppose.
Yeah.
They figure,
I
why
got
not?
one-
This is a superior approach.
I got one of
So we
those
give
on
it a
order.
shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, triple
We'll
motor.
see. We'll see how it compares to a Wrangler.
Well, it's gonna be different.
Different.
I guaranteed that.
I've always wanted more horsepower in my Wrangler, and now I'm going to get
It's
it.
got a few more.
Yeah,
than the Jeep Wrangler, yes.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, I think that's a good number. Yeah.
But it's completely changing the industry, automotive industry, of course.
Oh yeah.
Just from the existence of Tesla. You look at what, especially millennials, you look at the preference for brands and stuff like that. And oddly enough, millennials tend to prefer Tesla over the established automakers in the high-end space,
Yeah.
oddly enough. They have more respect a lot of times for brands like Tesla than the other established members that have been doing this a long time, even like Rolls-Royce and stuff like that. That isn't quite
Yeah.
so popular
No.
in that type of
That can
range.
happen in any industry.
Yeah.
Strange, right?
Yeah.
Of
Think
evolution.
about in the headphone space how many long-term players there've been in. And up pops a guy,
Headphones.
some company named Abyss or whoever, and
That's
the
true.
upstarts.
Yeah.
Sure.
Shakes things up.
I think it's
Yeah,
hard to
shakes
see
things
from the
up.
consumer perspective, though. Because from us, we've been doing things, for the most part, by the time we see some change that's likely invoked by something we did, we've been doing it long enough that we kind of saw the pattern. We saw where the industry was heading. And so you could see something that's out of the norm pretty easily from our perspective, right? And so you could kind of get a better picture. It's easy to gauge whether or not something we did had influence in the industry, I think, from our perspective.
Yeah, but
Much
nobody
more so than the
recognizes that
consumer.
except us. I think that's
Right,
Well,
that's
yeah.
what I'm getting
You'd almost
at.
have to like tell that story.
Well,
There's,
yeah.
Sure.
maybe
But there's
that's
so
what-
many
maybe
little
we'll do more
nuance
of that in
factors like
these
that.
videos.
At some point.
Something we bring up, we say, well,
So many little things that people bashed us for.
Yeah.
Time went on,
Yeah,
and
suddenly
now people
became
are
a
doing
norm.
it. It's norm, and
Yeah.
nobody thought anything about it. Nobody
Yeah.
ever commented back to say, "Hey, actually,
Yeah. Well, it's true. Tesla's like that too. There's no
same
question.
type of thing." You look
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Cybertruck.
Right.
Immediately, everybody bashed it initially.
Right.
There was maybe 2 people that liked it.
I know,
A little
I-
time
I
went
know.
by. Yeah, I was
Me
watching.
too. I saw the
I was
video and I was
watching the
like,
live unveil. Yeah, I thought it was
What?
ridiculous. Right, the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I didn't really care about the glass breaking, but
Yeah.
the truck, I almost thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
And then
know
a
I
little
did.
time went
First
by.
5 seconds.
I thought about it a little bit more, and
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
now I want one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a
How'd
couple
that
days to
work?
order it. I didn't
Yeah.
go on. I'm not.
Well,
you
it
know,
seems like
I'm not 12. I didn't go on and oh, I gotta have this damn
It
thing
took
right
3
away.
days is what it took. Everybody
Yeah.
took 3 days, and they're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I could get behind this.
I haven't heard guys talking to like restaurants like a week later. You go,
Oh, yeah.
Did you see
Oh,
that
yeah.
Cybertruck? That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And it was like universal. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
they just kind of adopted
Immediately.
it like it was. It's not a bad
I think it's the
idea.
most amazing thing ever done
Yeah.
in the automotive industry.
I wonder if that happened to them when they were designing it. If their own guys said, at first they're like, "Are you crazy?"
Probably.
Probably.
You know?
Yeah,
and then all of a
probably.
sudden, well, you know what?
Yeah.
It's not so bad. after
Supposedly
all.
it's 3 millimeter stainless steel exoskeleton.
Yeah.
That's some rugged door panels.
Dent proof, man.
Yeah, well, we have some experience with stainless steel because some of the jigs are made out of it.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they're gonna
Laser
vinyl. I wonder if they're gonna
cutting it, so
vinyl wrap these like out of the factory, because it doesn't make sense to paint stainless. It sounds like
They probably wouldn't paint it.
Yeah.
sounds like a bad
I don't think
idea.
they need to really worry about that.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
imagine
I
the
wouldn't-
aftermarket
yeah, I
You
sport.
wouldn't
think they'll
paint
leave it to the aftermarket? Though?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
aftermarket-
D-Brand
you look at
already
Model
said they
3.
already have all the
Well,
things
I was gonna
with
say
that.
the aftermarket's gonna love that shit.
The aftermarket
Jeez.
support for Model 3 is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
For the number of units shipped, you look at any other car that's just a common car that's sold in many more times the vehicles that Model 3 has shipped, and they don't have any aftermarket support. Nobody cares enough. Nobody's passionate enough about the vehicle to develop, some injection molded parts and complex things and stuff like that.
You gotta believe they're gonna give you colors though.
Well, he
Like
did say
black.
black.
He
said
said
black.
matte black, but
Well,
yeah.
it's still a few years
Also
out,
said
so-
there
I
was
don't know
gotta
if
be a
there's a good way
ludicrous
to
Model
finish
3.
stainless in a
Although that might
black.
be
That's kind of everything's
Yeah.
crude. It's like an anodizer.
It would
or
just
a-
seem like a waste of paint.
What the hell were
though,
those
that's the thing.
stainless screws we were getting done? Not anodized. It was what the hell was the coating process? Dipping. They dip
Oh,
it in
yeah.
crap. I forgot. Anyway,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
looked like crap. It was
Yeah.
uneven. You couldn't do a car like that. I don't
Yeah.
think it would be bad.
It would be uneven.
Unless they created new processes
You wouldn't
to do it.
that. No,
Yeah.
I think you would do a wrap. That would
Yeah.
make sense
Yeah.
because it retains all the advantages of the stainless effectively.
Yeah.
You still have the corrosion resistance. You don't need to worry about, even if you're wrapping it manually, you don't need to worry about nicking the body so much, cutting through the paint
Yeah.
and corrosion. You could change the color if you want. If you get a damaged panel, you could repair it.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems to be the way to go because matte finishes tend to be not quite so durable
Yeah,
as
you
is.
can't
I think
wash them the
vinyl.
same.
Vinyl's probably a better option than paint for matte finishes for the most part.
My
in
only
terms of
problem with you
durability.
guys and your Model 3s is I can't hear the damn thing. I still like exhaust noise. I'm just grew up with. I like it when I hit the gas pedal that I got some throatiness coming out of the damn exhaust.
I used to think that,
Yeah.
but after not having engine for a long time now,
Yeah.
I prefer to have instant acceleration.
Yeah.
It just,
It's not that easy to tell how fast you're going. Though.
Yeah, it
You
is.
got to physically be
It's
looking.
very easy.
Well, you
Yeah.
got to look at those 2 or 3 digits on the screen. Right?
I don't need to do that at all.
No.
No. Not until you get the ticket, at least.
It's
Like
pretty
with
easy to
engine
tell what
noise,
speed
you
you're
can-
going at, I think.
Well, yeah.
You look out the window,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I guess kind of. Yeah.
I could gauge my
if you're,
speed typically
if you're
within
by
a few
yourself
mile
and
an
there's no
hour.
one around you, it could be a little more difficult. You could be off 10
Well,
or
sometimes
20.
it creeps. Like if you were on the highway,
Like your
you
car's so
were just
quiet.
going 80 or something like that, then you're on a street that's 30. It is literally some adjustment is
Yeah,
required,
yeah.
maybe there.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you've been
It'd be
driving
easy-
a couple hours,
and
or
not to
something.
mention the acceleration in these cars, it'd be really easy to go too fast without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Right. That's the
You're-
biggest problem.
You're
I think
above 30 in no time, and
Wow.
it's like,
the vehicle dynamics are good,
Yeah.
But
and so
that's the fun
especially
part.
exiting a corner, it does incentivize you heavily to retain your foot a little bit too far.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do find yourself driving way faster than you ever would, even if
Yeah.
you had a fast car before.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because it just seems like
It's
so,
so
easy to
easy.
squirt some power at it.
yeah.
that
Right,
you do.
and with regenerative braking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like the same impact is there. When you're throwing too much speed in it, it's not like you're just throwing it into the brakes and heat.
Yeah.
You're getting most of it back, so it's kind of
Efficiency.
the
you know.
light changes green, you floor it every time. Obviously,
yeah.
It's like a Renault or
I'm
something.
still having a hard time wrapping my head wrapping this truck thing. They're going to come out with a 2.9 second on the 3 motor. That is just like
It's gonna be a beast.
Yeah.
that's ludicrous all over again.
Yeah.
You know, I could just see it. You hit the gas pedal.
Well, and
right?
it's gonna
the
weigh
thing's
a
going to have to
lot.
like drop right down. The height's going to have to come down, right? It's probably going to have to sense to make sure you're not on like rough
Well, it has
terrain.
air suspension, so yeah. they can
I
do
mean,
that.
it's got to go low when you start getting above a certain speed. It can't stay up.
There's
It's
so
gonna
many
tip
advantages
over.
that I think to the average person that haven't driven an EV probably wouldn't really understand.
Yeah.
Like if you have cargo in the vehicle, you have liquids and you have a crock pot strapped to
yeah.
the back, right? It's easier to drive quickly with a crock pot in an electric vehicle and have the
Why is that?
fluid not slosh. Well, you don't have shift shock.
Yeah.
You have more predictable braking because you're using regenerative braking so commonly, and you're more accustomed to this. So it's much easier to have more linear, predictable acceleration, deceleration than you would get with a normal ICE vehicle,
Yeah.
especially through different climates.
How about you guys in charging? Like, we never talked about that. I never talked
plug
with
it
you
in.
guys about charging it.
Plug
No,
it
but I
in.
mean, like, what's the new habit with that? Like, I go once a week and I fill up my Jeep, right?
I
Easy.
get out of the car and plug it in. And
The thing goes ding on the dash.
So it
I'm
depends on
quarter
the person,
tank,
how much you
so-
drive. I plug it in every day, every other day. That's
Yeah,
what
but is
most
that
people
one of those
do.
hassles type thing
No.
where you got to deal
well, I'm
with it?
walking by
I
the
don't think
port,
so.
and
No?
I leave the cable right there. So I just
It
So
takes
you don't
about
find yourself
3
running
seconds
out
to
of running
unplug,
out of-
maybe 5 seconds to
running out,
unplug.
you don't run out of electrons like often?
even.
Or?
Not even
I've
close.
never had it below 50%.
Lowest I've ever been was 40%.
I mean, unless you're on a road trip.
So if I needed to go another 150 miles, then you might have a problem.
Yeah.
But
And what the hell's the truck supposed to have? Like the big one's
500,
500, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that's
500
like
plus, they
that's great.
claim.
That's like 2 weeks.
That's more than your Jeep.
You know.
So it depends on
Yeah.
the conditions.
Yeah.
Because in really bad conditions, if it's like negative 15 outside,
Yeah. Well,
Fahrenheit,
we got that coming here
and
next
snowing,
week.
so there's high rolling resistance,
Yeah.
and you have your tires underinflated because
Well,
it's
plus
really
it's a
cold. You
battery,
can't adjust the
so, yeah.
pressure, and the battery happens to be really cold.
Yeah.
You could get maybe a third to a quarter of the EPA estimated range if you
Yeah.
have the heat cranked 90 degrees, defrosting the windshields, everything's going. It's around a quarter, I would say.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, driving slow speeds, which means long duration with the heat blasting the whole time. Since EVs don't have heat as an abundant waste product,
Yeah.
you got to make it. And
I mean, the gas cars aren't that different in the winter.
Heat.
I guess you got to make
it's
sure you
bad.
got at least half.
You get
a
very
tank.
bad fuel
You don't want to get
economy
low on gas
in a gas
the
car
winter.
as well. It's the same
You know,
thing. Nobody for some
you need
reason
the
looks
weight.
at it that carefully.
You need the
Nobody
weight.
tracks their like. Do you track your mileage really? Most people
No.
don't really care. If
I
they
don't
do, they
care.
glance at it.
No, when it's on EFL up.
Right. And if it's
or
really
it gets
bad
close.
outside, it's so uncommon at least for people to really track their fuel economy. But I used to kind of sort of pay attention to these things. And in internal combustion engine vehicles, the fuel economy in really bad conditions is absolutely appalling.
Yeah.
Especially if you preheat the car for half an
yeah.
hour.
That's just zero
really,
MPGs.
really bad.
Yeah.
Through deep
Factored
snow,
in.
yeah, you could get a car that
Yeah,
gets
which I'm doing all the
30
time.
Yeah.
40 mpg highway, like my TL.
Yeah.
It would get 36, 38 mpg highway. And in winter, I would get 12.
Yeah.
Well, short trips too.
My
That's
Jeep's
the
running 15 right now, and it
Short
was
trips, you could get
18,
single
19
digits.
in the summer. So yeah.
problem. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm always warming it up.
But
before
you
I go
drive
out.
enough that it kind of smooths out. If you do really frequent short trips,
Yeah.
you start it up for 20 minutes, you drive 2 miles,
Yeah.
so you could
Yeah.
get 3 mpg or something crazy like that.
Well, the other thing is
Nobody
even if
considers
you,
these
I mean, you
things
can
for
just
some reason now.
heat up your car from the app, but even
Parked
if you
in a
don't
garage.
do that, it heats up really quick.
Yeah.
Right.
How long is quick?
I like back when I had
Warm air comes out of the vents in 30 seconds
yeah,
or
yeah
less.
about less than a minute. Like because when I had
It's
you know,
electric,
like-
I take it.
yeah, like-
Yeah, of course. It's
Like
like,
heating coils type of. What the hell's that thing look like? I don't even know.
so the
Do you ever
Model
see it?
3, it
Like,
has
what
a,
is it used for heat? How does it produce heat? Is it a ceramic heater or what is it?
yeah, it's
element?
like a PTC element.
It's an
yeah.
element?
So you get hot air pretty quickly compared to other vehicles. Like a lot of things are actually using a glycol loop. And they have a resistive heater in the loop that heats the coolant. And so it's a small loop.
But not in these cars, not the Teslas.
not the Model 3.
Oh, some of them do though. Did they use the loop for something else?
S.
Why did they do liquid?
yeah.
S and
It's for the
X, I
pack.
believe, have glycol heating.
For the battery too.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
like a standard
so they
heater core
separated
assembly.
that function.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, 'cause
They only have one coolant loop on the Model 3 is the thing.
yeah, it's to make
It's a
it
much less
cheaper.
complicated system.
Yeah,
Well,
it's complicated.
it's complicated in a simple way, if that makes any sense.
But
for
since
me.
it's only like 3 miles for me to come home from here, when I had a gas car, and I would just start it and leave, it would
Right.
obviously never be warm on the way home. But now, like by the time I get to the first turn, it's already warmed
Yeah.
up, you know, and I didn't even need to warm it
Well,
up.
my Jeep burns dinosaurs pretty quickly too. It warms up pretty quick. Like I get
Not
started up
that
in
quick,
2
though.
minutes. Even if it's
No, I
like
mean just
30
start
out.
up and leave.
Well,
Start up
no,
and
it's not
leave.
as quick as
Yeah,
electric
yeah.
for sure. That's nearly
So that's
instant.
I used to never have heat.
But I think because the
But-
internal combustion engine is so inefficient, and it gets hot pretty quick.
Yeah,
and,
yeah. Inefficiency does
and,
have
and if they
advantages.
Yeah.
optimize that coolant loop so that it kind of gets into the the interior radiator a lot quicker, and
And heated seats help.
which nowadays I think the cars are shifting to anything that's got the
They're warming up a lot faster
yeah
now.
they're closing.
They have
got
much more
valves that
advanced
close off
algorithms
the,
and
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
main
lower mass
radiator
and
and it's
whatnot. Sure.
bringing a heat in, and
Yep.
and even you can even watch if you watch the temperature gauges on today's gas cars. It'll allow the coolant heat to come up to like 160 or something. Then all of a sudden you see the oil start coming up. The coolant holds, and the oil temp starts to come up. So it's like
Well,
it's
that's not like an active
it's
process.
shifting where the BTUs are
That's
going. is what I'm-
design.
Yeah. But I'm just saying they're actually playing games with to try to warm you first, then
Yeah.
then the oil, then the car.
That isn't
and
quite
then-
how it works. But
Yeah,
sure.
there's some thought in it. Like,
Oh, yeah, there's
when
much
I
more
grew up,
thought
there
into
was
the
none of
design.
this.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
a thermostat shoved in the line with the thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
It opened at 190.
Yeah,
Before
yeah,
that,
they
you
didn't
froze
optimize
your
it. Now they
balls
do,
off.
sure.
There was
The
nothing
capacity
in between.
of the coolant system and
Yeah.
the oil system is much
So
more optimized.
to me, this is way preferred the way they work nowadays compared to like
Yeah.
the 70s and even early 80s.
Well, a lot of the cars, they have much more aggressive heating to try to warm up the catalyst to maintain emissions targets and stuff like that. They're
Yeah,
they're
there's
intentionally
emissions
trying to
stuff,
heat
yeah.
up more rapidly.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's 'cause
before
the cat's
it was,
not working until it's
Yeah,
hot.
right.
So that-
right.
So anyway, I guess that's enough of electric vehicle time for us.
Well, yeah.
Totally off topic, but
Yeah,
you know, what the hell? You guys are near experts. You've been monitoring the
expert.
situation for years. You
Yeah.
you busted up and you bought the car. You own it. So yeah, maybe next time we'll talk about it when we get our trucks in a couple of years.
Yeah,
There
we'll see
you
a
go.
couple of years from
Yeah,
now.
see how that goes. Yeah. So anyway, keep an eye on our videos, please, and subscribe to us, and we'll catch you next time. And don't forget, in February we'll be in New York City for Can Jam, so come visit us. We'll have some cool toys. Thanks. It's not all totally about distortion. It's about how the distortion sounds, not necessarily how much. You can have a very, 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 very tiny amount of third harmonic really piss you off listening to music, and you can have a shitload of second harmonic, and everything sounds pretty good, which is what tubes tend to do. If you talk to any of the guys or read up or heard what like past labs had to say about distortion and stuff, it took him, I don't know how many years he's been doing it. I think he's in his 80s now. So, but